Stop boiling pasta in a pot and start cooking it in a pan. It's a smarter method that saves water and boosts flavor. In this video we'll unpack the revolutionary science behind pan pasta, reveal the environmental payoff, and show how the starch magic turns the dish into restaurant-quality sauce. You'll see how professional chefs are already making the switch, what gear you actually need, and the common mistakes to avoid for perfect texture. Get ready for time-saving weeknight wins and a flavor revolution that'll transform your cooking. 1. The revolutionary science behind pan pasta cooking. What if everything you knew about cooking pasta was wrong? Harold McGee, author of Keys to Good Cooking, recommends cooking a pound of pasta in 1.5 quarts of cold water in a frying pan, taking 15-20 minutes instead of 45 with the heat up of the water. This method isn't just a kitchen hack, it's a game-changing approach backed by serious culinary science. The traditional method of boiling large quantities of water creates unnecessary waste and energy consumption. Starting pasta in cold water and using less water in all reduces total cook time by as much as 45% and the water by 75%, according to research by culinary experts including Harold McGee, J. Kenji Lopez-Alt, and Alton Brown. When you think about it logically, you're essentially heating gallons of water just to drain most of it away. 2. Environmental impact that'll shock you, as the water-to-pasta ratio was reduced from 12 to 2 liters per kilogram. The specific electric energy consumption linearly decreased from 1.93 to 0.39 watt-hours per gram, and the carbon footprint and eutrophication potential of pasta cooking lessened by approximately 80% and 50%, respectively. These numbers aren't just statistics, they represent a massive opportunity for environmental conservation in every kitchen around the world. Cooking accounts for 38% of the total carbon footprint of the entire pasta production chain, making it the single largest environmental impact factor. The carbon footprint of pasta cooking reduced from 0.49 plus or minus 0.04 to 0.18 plus or minus 0.01 kilograms CO2e per kilogram, and the suggested pasta cooking procedure is expected to reduce its associated GHG emissions by 2.1 teragrams CO2e per year. That's enough carbon savings to make your pasta nights genuinely planet-friendly. 3. Water conservation beyond your wildest dreams. The water savings are staggering when you switch to pan cooking. The International Pasta Organization recommends using only the necessary amount of water, on average 1 liter for 100 grams of pasta, but shorter shapes need about 30% less, 700 milliliters, and always use a lid on the pan to boil the water faster and use less gas or electricity. Compare this to traditional recipes calling for 4 to 6 quarts of water per pound of pasta, and you're looking at revolutionary conservation. You can conserve 80,100 liters of water annually by employing unconventional cooking methods that support environmental sustainability. For a typical household cooking pasta twice weekly, this represents enough water savings to fill a bathtub several times over throughout the year. The cumulative effect across millions of households could preserve vast amounts of this precious resource. 4. The flavor revolution you never saw coming. Here's where pan cooking gets really exciting. The flavor enhancement is remarkable. Because pasta simmers in actual sauce and with vegetables instead of just pasta water, it has at least double the flavor, and the pasta releases a little starch as it cooks, which helps to make sauce nice, thick, and creamy. This isn't just convenience cooking, it's actually superior technique. The concentrated salt-to-water ratio gives pasta even more taste compared to the usual boiling water method, and with specific measurements, the taste of cold water pasta is superior to boiled water pasta. The reduced water volume means seasoning penetrates more effectively throughout the cooking process. It's like the difference between soaking a sponge in a teaspoon of flavor versus diluting it in an ocean. 5. Starch magic that creates restaurant-quality sauces. As pasta cooks in boiling water, starch molecules are released into the hot water, and the less water you use, the starchier the water will be. It's starchy, flavorful, and essential for creating a silky smooth sauce. With this one-pot pasta method, the starchy cooking liquid is built in from the start. This natural thickening agent is what professional chefs treasure as liquid gold. Instead of being left behind in a separate pot of water, The starches released from the pasta remain and swell to become more viscous and sticky, helping to create a slightly thickened tomato sauce. The starch from the pasta does make a nice creamy sauce with no cream. You're essentially getting professional-grade sauce consistency without any cream or artificial thickeners. 6. Time savings that transform your weeknight routine. The time difference is genuinely impressive. The cold water pasta hack cut the cooking time nearly in half. Boiling water in a pot not only used double the amount of water, but it took 22 minutes from start to finish, while it only took 13 minutes for 8 ounces of spaghetti to reach a perfect al dente texture. That's 9 minutes you get back every single time you cook pasta. If you're the type of person who hates waiting for water to boil, then this could be a game changer. This method was incredibly easy and hands-off, and ultimately, this method wasn't much quicker than making pasta the traditional way, but the noodles came out perfectly al dente. The reduced waiting time eliminates that frustrating period of watching a pot that seems like it'll never boil. 7. Equipment requirements that won't break the bank. If cooking strands, use a 12-inch skillet. Otherwise, use a large saucepan. The beauty of this method lies in its simplicity. You don't need specialized equipment or expensive gadgets. Any decent-sized pan or skillet you already own will work perfectly fine for this technique. This is often referred to as one-pot pasta instead of one-pan pasta, so really, you can use a pot like a heavy soup pot or a Dutch oven, or a pan like a non-stick skillet or stainless steel deep pan. Stainless steel deep pans work excellently, and using non-stick may help keep this recipe hassle-free. The versatility means you can adapt this method to whatever cookware you have available. 8. Perfect texture without the guesswork. The texture of the pasta was more satisfactory when compared to pasta made using the usual boiling water method. When the water was significantly reduced at around 12 minutes, the pasta looked almost ready to drain, and a quick taste test confirmed it was perfect. The visual cues make it nearly impossible to overcook your pasta. In tests, 1 pound of dried pasta started in 1 quart of cold water cooked up just as nicely al dente as the same type of pasta started in 4 quarts of boiling water, and only the most sensitive palates could discern any difference between the samples. The end result is indistinguishable from traditional methods, but with significantly better efficiency and environmental benefits. 9. Professional chefs are already making the switch. This isn't just a home cooking trend, professional kitchens are recognizing the benefits. Cooking in pasta cookers saves up to 60% of energy and 38% of water compared to range tops and therefore reduces by 34 to 66% the impacts associated with pasta preparation, and environmental impacts could also be reduced by using gas rather than electric appliances. Commercial kitchens understand that efficiency directly translates to profitability and sustainability. After publishing this method, culinary experts started hearing from people who had actually traveled to various corners of Italy, saying, "This is nothing new. People have been doing this kind of thing for a long time. It's just something that hasn't been as mainstream as the big pot of water technique." Traditional Italian cooks have been using variations of this method for generations. 10. Common mistakes that sabotage your success. All of the water had evaporated before the pasta cooked to al dente, leaving the still raw pasta stuck to the bottom of the pan and to each other. The theory behind the method is intriguing, but the liquid amount was reduced too severely, and reducing the water by half of the traditional amount should eliminate the evaporation and sticking issues. The key is finding the sweet spot between conservation and functionality. It's crucial not to add too much liquid at the start. You want just enough to cook the pasta and create a sauce, not so much that you end up with soup. If your sauce seems too thick towards the end of cooking, you can always add a splash more water, but remember, it's much easier to thin out a sauce than to thicken it up. Start conservative and adjust as needed. 11. Advanced techniques for maximum flavor impact. You can cook pasta in wine and broth or in wine and water. It's almost like a risotto version of pasta, and there's an old farmhouse recipe where you brown some celery, carrot, onion, garlic and salami. Then add the pasta, wine and water. This opens up incredible possibilities for flavor layering that simply isn't possible with traditional boiling methods. The more starchy the pasta water, the more effective it will be as a thickening agent. You can easily achieve more concentrated pasta water with a smaller saucepan and less liquid, and for pasta water with next-level starchiness. Some chefs recommend adding the pasta to cold water and letting it come to a boil. These advanced techniques create restaurant-quality results at home.